Do you want to do damage like this and obliterate level 10,000 enemies while feeling like you're an assassin preying on your next victim? Well, this is the video for you. Welcome to my Poisonous Assassin Voruna build. Today I'm going to show you how to build and use this busted setup that I've been using recently for my level 10,000 runs, and also has just been a great daily driver. I use it for a lot of missions. Voruna is just so strong. I can't believe people aren't playing her more. It's kind of wild to me, but if you use the setup, you're going to be golden. Let's get right into it. Now, to go over her abilities, this is going to be a really quick recap. Her first ability is just to go invisible, and while you're invisible, you get a little speed buff. It's not that noticeable, and you can disable it when you attack or when the duration runs out. That's one thing. The second part of this ability is that it gives a couple of buffs when you hop out of invisibility. When you hop out of invisibility, you get status chance, you get crit chance, also crit damage, as well as having the ability to inflict some slash damage. And this specific buff can be increased when you kill an enemy with your melee. The second ability is you leap onto the enemies and you apply 5 random statuses with 10 stacks. And then when they die, they spread all of those statuses to nearby enemies. Kind of like with COVID. You're going to be using this ability a lot. It's really strong. It's good for single target, good for multiple target. It's just a really strong ability. Number 3, this is her energy economy. This is how she stays at 100% with energy as well as health. You pop this ability, and when Voruna kills an enemy, they drop a health orb. Great for some setups like equilibrium, and we can also increase the duration every time you get a kill with an enemy with 5 statuses on them, which is going to be frequent. You're going to have a lot of enemies that have 5 or more statuses. When we kill an enemy with 5 statuses, a certain duration is going to stack onto this. Really handy. The fourth ability, I'm going to be subsuming it with Roar. This is because I want my poison and also my dot damage to do more damage. If you wanted to use the fourth ability, you can keep it. However, today in this build, we're going to subsume Roar. Now onto her passives. Now this might turn some players away, as it does sound a little bit daunting switching through all 4 passives because they're applied when you hold one of the buttons, one of the 4 buttons. But I'm here to tell you it's actually a lot simpler than it sounds, and we don't have to use all 4. In fact, we're only really going to use 1 and 2. 1 for the parkour velocity and 2 for the status immunity. 3 if I'm using a heavy attack weapon, but I don't really see a difference because I've already mod heavy attack efficiency. So usually you can just leave it at your 2 for when you have to fight enemies and you want the status immunity. That's really strong when you're fighting. And then if you need to go somewhere, I would just use your 1 to get that parkour velocity, and you can use it to get from point A to point B. Also, something about the status immunity, you get 100% knockdown resistance. This is what made me really like Voruna. I don't have to slot in Prime Sure-Footed or just use any knockdown resistance mod. It's already built into the second passive, which I really love. So when you're fighting enemies, your resistance to status immunity as well as knockdowns. Plain and simple, that's what I do. I don't have any issues while doing it. Now let's hop on to the build. The first thing is we have continuity for longer duration. This increases our duration for Lycath's hunt, our roar buff, also Shroud of Dynar. For the invisibility, continuity is going to be pretty important. You can use prime continuity. You don't have to use Archon continuity. For strength, we have 2 mods. We need strength to increase our roar buff, so that's why we want a little bit more strength on this build. We have Umbral Intensify, and we also have Transient Fortitude. Now you could slot in Blind Rage for either of these, but personally I think Transient Fortitude is the move because we already have decent enough strength from those 2 mods, as well as we're going to get some ability strength from some other sources. For energy, we have Equilibrium. This is for our 3rd ability, Lycath's Hunt. Every time we get a kill, they drop a health orb. That health orb is going to become an energy orb. It's really strong, and energy is going to be really important in this build. We also have Prime Flow to increase our maximum energy. This is going to be very helpful. And on to our few defensive mods. We have Brief Respite in our aura slot. Brief Respite is going to be really nice, as every time we go invisible, we get a little bit of shields back. And this is going to be good for shield gating. Now I know shield gating might scare some of you guys, or it just might not be the way you want to play. And personally, that was for me too. I don't really like shield gating traditionally, but with Voruna, I just like it a lot because it's going to kind of work like this. We get in, get a bunch of kills, and then once our shield gate goes down, we get 1.33 seconds of invulnerability. That gives us enough time to go back into invisibility, and then we can just rinse and repeat the process. It's really strong. I also slotted in rolling guard. This is optional, and I'm going to give some alternatives. The main reason is because when I'm doing my cascade runs, when I'm rotating, I don't want to get hit by a status such as burn. We can get poisoned, and holding your 2 isn't going to get rid of that. So that's why I use rolling guard. It's just in case. If you're not doing longer runs, if you're not doing cascade, you probably don't need this actually. So here are some alternatives. You can use Augur Reach for more range and a little bit more shield back. You can get Blind Rage if you wanted more strength. Personally, I don't really like this one, but you could if you wanted more strength. Energy Nexus if you wanted more energy. This is kind of just overkill. And lastly, probably my favorite option is the Augment mod. This Augment mod is so strong for this build. This augment called Prey of Dynar, it essentially marks an enemy, and that specific enemy has damage vulnerability. It's really strong for single target, and also on top of this, it makes the status spread. You know, when you kill an enemy, the status spreads. That is going to have a huger AoE, which is going to be great for clear, obviously. Hi there, guys. Future Kev here. This is a low Forma build that I wanted to show you guys. It uses a lot less points, and it still performs really well. And it just gives you an idea on how the build plays. Plays exactly the same, so enjoy. Back to the video. Archon Shards are going to be pretty important. The most important being the purple shards for crit damage. This is just going to give you more damage overall. And if you have 3 tauforged crit damage shards, we can get a staggering 220% crit damage buff just from these shards. Now, the thing is with Voruna, she actually has low base energy. This is probably to combat her third ability. So we just don't have like a huge surplus of energy. What we can do is get so much energy back that we increase the uptime of those crit damage buffs. So what I mean is we always want to be at the 500 threshold. So what we can do is obviously use energy mods. Archon Stretch is going to be really nice. This is mainly why I didn't use Blind Rage. And this is going to be a lot easier than it seems. We're actually going to get to that 500 threshold pretty often. We also need an energy max shard. This is going to be a blue shard. This is just to hit the 500. Just Prime Flow isn't going to hit 500. We actually do need a blue shard. We also have a cast speed shard. This is just a nice quality of life. This is for so we can get to our 1 faster. We can turn invisible faster. It's really nice. We can also have our dash faster. Or sorry, the second ability is a little bit faster. It's just great. It's just great quality of life. I would recommend this. For Arcanes, I use Archon Strike for a huge attack speed increase. We don't have a lot of attack speed built into Voruna's kit. That's why I'm using Arcane Strike. And we also have Molt augmented for the strength. This is obviously to just get a better roar buff and just to do more damage. However, you can also use Arcane Impetus. Arcane Impetus is really strong because it gives efficiency and ability strength when you apply unique statuses, which Voruna does very frequently. So you're going to have high uptime on this arcane. This might actually be a little bit better for our build, as we always want to be at that energy threshold, at the 500 energy threshold. So this might be a little bit better. However, if you just don't have it, you can use Molt Augmented. You'll be just fine. So onto my favorite part of the video. We have the melee section. I want to showcase a few weapons that are extremely strong. In actuality, Voruna can use a variety of weapons and make them viable. Yeah, specifically weapons that have good status chance as well as crit. My personal favorite is the dual Ichor or the dual Ichor because of the incarnate and also the damage it does. It's just an insane amount of damage. It's just such a flashy weapon with good crit and good status. The incarnate is so fun and it matches Voruna's style that we're going for, like kind of like an assassin build. It creates gas clouds that do just an insane amount of damage, that do so much damage against acolytes. So onto just the build. This is my pure toxin dual Ichor build. Very strong. It's with melee exposure. I have Galvanized Elementalist. It's going to give us more status damage and also status chance. Galvanized Steel for more crit. This is super nice. Also Berserker Fury, Prime Fever Strike, Blood Rush gives us more crit with combo multiplier, and also Condition Overload, giving us more damage. Very strong. If you didn't want to use melee exposure, I highly recommend it. It's super fun compared to the melee influence build I have right here. I modded for gas and electric. Super strong. I do take this to higher level too. It's pretty strong. I just have more fun with the first build. You don't have to level this up. You can save some points right here. So that's our dual Ichor build. You could also use Nami Solo. Nami Solo is decent. I just have a melee influence build. It's really strong. It's also really strong. Good heavy attacks, good damage. Thalos is good. Thalos is decent. Thalos I just run melee influence. It's fun. It's just a heavy sight that I use and I wanted to try. It kind of falls off in higher levels, but in like normal steel path, it just shreds. It just destroys. Okay, so onto our Diriga build. Now, my Diriga build is super bare bones, but that's what I kind of like about it. It just still works even though I haven't like fully invested into it. We're just going to mention some of the more important mods here. Synth deconstruct is probably one of the more important mods right here. This gives us more energy. It just gives us more energy per health drop. We just turn into an energy orb because of equilibrium. Super strong. We also have manifold bond. So if we kill an enemy with 3 or more status effects, it reduces the companion ability cooldown. This is very strong because, as you know, with Voruna, we're putting so many status effects. It's going to reduce the companion ability cooldown by quite a bit. Our coil is very important here just because for our energy. This is for Archon stretch. So this is where we can always maintain that 500 energy threshold. This is why I chose the Diriga. You can use other options that if you really wanted to. I just find that Diriga helps with energy. I like shield charger. You don't have to use it, but it gives you more max shields as well as shield generation. Max shields is important, but the shield generation is nice just in case, you know. Momentous bond is just nice just to reduce companion recovery time. My companion does die a lot in higher levels, so it's there. Guardian is also super important. This can proc a lot because of manifold bond. Very nice. So the Vergless Prime, this is our weapon. Pretty sure you can use a bunch of other different weapons. This just kills very nicely. I built for magnetic, heat, and viral. It kills very frequently. I just find this one a lot more consistent. That's my Diriga build. Super bare bones. There's also some things with hounds. I'm gonna link a video down below. Watch it. I recommend it. This is in case that you want to build a hound build if you have it. That's the build. I personally love this build. It's so strong. I just had to show it with you guys. This is my first Warframe video and I wanted to start off with a banger. Just a build that just carried me for a very long time. I hope you guys have a fun time trying it. Stay tuned for more Warframe videos. I love this game right now. It's been super fun and see you guys in the next video. Peace.